Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our What's New at G2 session. We're so excited to have you here on this very, very exciting day as we unveil what's new at G2. We are launching so many new innovations that are going to help us all reimagine an AI-first review and software discovery experience. So before we get started, a couple intros. My name is Nicole Quillo. I am a Senior Product Marketing Manager at G2, and I'm joined today by three of our product leaders who are going to walk us through all of the latest innovations we are delivering here at G2. So we have Alex David here, our newest product leader. He will walk us through new ways we are delivering reviews through conversational voice, and then beyond Rachel Bentley will show us new ways you can collect reviews via customer calls and meetings, and then use those reviews as customer proof points in sales and marketing collateral created in your customer advocacy programs, your platforms you are already using today. And then Tim Silber will walk us through an entirely new AI first buyer discovery experience. This is G2.ai. This beta will provide software buyers with an entirely new way to search for software, eliminating the need to be a tech expert or just find the right software solution when you need it. And to round it all out, we'll have Alex David come back up on stage and we'll take conversational AI entirely to the next level.
Give us just one moment. Looks like Nicole might have lost her internet. Perfect timing. Let's do it live. Give us one moment and we will be right back. Liz, do you want me to share my screen? Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen okay? Okay, so I'm going to pass to okay, so we are really excited to talk today about reimagining AI first reviews, giving customers more ways to share their voice on their terms, helping you find the right software faster, and without all the heavy lifting. How can we help you? You're very busy, and getting you the answers you need when you need them with our custom research.
Suggestions on what we are chatting about, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you have questions for our team, please drop them in the Q&A section, and we will be monitoring that section throughout the session to address as many questions as possible at the end of the event. We're back. I'm checking the chat right now, so that's a perfect segue into our housekeeping items. Can I see a thumbs up if we can all hear me in the chat? Amazing. Okay. Well, don't worry. No one missed anything. We were just going through the agenda, and now we're at housekeeping. Amazing. All right. So chat with us, engage with us in chat. And then if you have questions, please use the Q&A section. We're going to be monitoring that section so we can share in a live Q&A. Thanks for the thumbs up, team. And then lastly, you'll have a chance to sign up for a lot of our early access programs via a shared registration link. Okay, now with that, let's talk about how the buyer journey is evolving in this world of AI. Now for the good stuff. Before we go any further, there's a major shift happening. We all have to acknowledge that. And AI isn't just influencing the buying process. We've been hearing that a lot, but it's redefining it at every stage. And insights from our 2025 buyer behavior report show how deeply this transformation has taken hold. For me, it's really started to blur the lines between personal and professional. So traditionally, software research or really any discovery started on Google. And today, LLMs like ChatGPT are the first stop. In fact, almost 30% of buyers now begin their research on LLMs more often than in a search engine. So again, this shift is just rewriting the rules completely of discoverability and SEO. And that's where G2's presence in these models becomes that competitive edge and differentiator for yourself. Next, buyers are just making decisions faster than ever, and the bar is higher. Information is coming faster, and shortlists are shrinking as buyers demand more AI-enabled solutions. And at the point of decision, it's no longer about analyst reports, vendor promises. Buyers are turning to peer voice like never before. We know how important feedback and peer voice is, but to validate AI suggestions, this is the silver bullet. The voice of the customer is the final confirmation layer. That's why trusted high quality reviews, especially in new formats like you're going to be seeing today, are more critical than ever before. So, what's new? We talked a lot about what's changing, but the good news is that we are here to help. So we're going to walk you through all of our latest innovations that will help you and your teams leverage AI in new ways for software reviewers, buyers, and strategists. Alex is going to walk you through some of today's challenges for software reviewers and G2's AI first solutions that will help you drive forward faster than ever. So, Alex, what's going on with software reviews today?
Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, everyone, for having me. Excited to be here. So let's talk about it. Today, G2 offers a powerful solution across our sellers, for buyers, and for our strategists. But we've heard a lot of feedback on how we do that today. The review experience can be slow. There's oftentimes a lot of friction, and we wind up putting a lot of the burden on the people that we're really trying to serve. And so, as Rachel likes to always remind us, feedback is a gift. But today, it feels like giving that feedback feels a little bit like a chore. There's a lot of forms, there's lists, there's sliders. That's just really not how people share and how they talk or how they think. So we asked, what if reviews felt more like conversations, something that was simple, natural, effortless, capturing all of these rich, authentic insights, but in the reviewer's own voice. No barriers, no friction, just real feedback made incredibly easy. And so we want to give customers more way to share their voices on their terms. And so with that, we're introducing conversational voice reviews. Voice is no longer a novelty. It is part of everyday life. 81% of consumers tell us that they now use voice every single day. And we see it everywhere, but whether it's voice to text, voice memos, quick updates, a thought captured on the go, a message sent when multitasking. Personally, I see it all the time, whether I'm interacting with my friends, my family, my colleagues. No one stops to type anymore. It's just let the conversation flow. And as we're all moving faster, voice just kind of naturally fits into that. It flows with the rhythm of how we live and how we work. So for years, voice was generally seen as a personal thing. You set a reminder, you send a text, you ask Siri for directions, but that is changing really quickly. Latest research shows that 56% use voice for personal tasks, but 33% now use it for both work and life, and 11% are just using it for work. This is more than a statistical shift, it's a mindset shift. People are getting comfortable with voice as a primary input, and they're bringing that expectation to work. Just the way email and chat and voice, all of that is now becoming part of how business gets done. So now let's talk about what we're actually doing here to help customers share their voice. We're introducing AI-powered voice review experiences. No forms, no friction, just a simple, natural conversation. So what this means is that in 5 minutes or less, reviewers can speak their thoughts freely, effortlessly. And this isn't just about making things easier or more fun. It's about removing the barriers that held all of this great feedback back. And so as we look for more insights, more reach, and more visibility, this means not just across G2, but across LLMs and other ecosystems like AWS and Azure as well. This is credibility amplified wherever your buyers are searching for it. Now, before we go any further, I wanted to show you all what this actually looks like. So I've asked Praveen from my team to walk you through this experience. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, Praveen here. I lead product for AI solutions at G2. Let's take a look at the new voice review experience. Here's a review landing page for G2.com. I'm going to get right into the review experience here. I can select my audio video devices of choice. I'll keep my camera off for the time being, and let's begin.
Hello there. Let's write a review for G2.com. Let's dive right in. How long have you been using G2.com, and what do you use it for?
I've been using G2 for more than 5 years to evaluate software.
Thanks for sharing that. Now let's take a step back. How did you first discover G2.com and start using it?
I was looking for a product on Google and landed on the reviews landing page on G2.com.
Did you switch to G2.com from another vendor?
No, I wasn't using anything else.
What other tools did you consider before choosing G2.com?
I was looking at similar software review websites at that point in time.
When you first started with G2.com, can you tell me what the setup process was like for you? Was it challenging in any way?
No, it was very smooth, straightforward, self-serve sign up. I could get started very easily.
Shifting. Thanks for the information about software integration. Moving forward, what about G2.com would make you consider purchasing it again?
I would say the depth of the reviews and the quality of reviews, that helps us also get some of that feedback back to our product teams as well.
What you mentioned about the quality of reviews providing valuable feedback to your product teams is insightful. Is there any other aspect of G2.com that contributes to your decision to potentially purchase it?
Yeah, I would say just the depth of reviews and being able to consume that in all different formats, I would say.
What's one thing you would change about G2.com?
I would love to have G2 do more qualitative voice-based reviews like the one we're having right now. That will definitely be a good addition, I would say.
And finally, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend G2.com to others?
I would say 10 out of 10.
Thank you for your time and insights. Hang tight for a few seconds as we turn this into a review. You would be able to edit and approve it.
So we'll take the interview transcript and convert this into a review that the user can actually approve it. They can make edits. So let's actually go into the edit mode and make a couple of changes and then approve it. So here's the review. For example, I could quickly approve it. Let's actually look at the details. This actually looks perfect. So I don't need to make any changes. Let's go ahead and approve this review. And voila, it's been submitted. It's in the moderation queue now, and I can get a quick peek into how this would look on the website. Hey, everyone.
So quick shout out to Praveen there for supporting us on that. So that's the kind of experience we're really excited to see. I can already imagine voice reviews happening in real time, whether that's people on the go between meetings, on walks, or what really excites me is straight from the floor at conferences and events. Voice reviews are fast, they're efficient, and they can actually be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to tell you all that it's available starting today on web and mobile. So one of the other big questions that we have here is, what does this mean for go-to-market teams? So these new voice-driven reviews aren't just easier for users, they're also meant to be game changers for your teams. With win rates going up, given that real voices reinforce your message, buyers are going to listen. These are authentic voice of customer proof points, which really help build trust, especially at critical decision points. And when these reviews are embedded into your campaigns, They really amplify your story. We see product marketing getting even sharper. Unscripted insights reveal what users truly care about and where they're stuck. That means faster iteration, stronger positioning, and smarter launches. And no more chasing case studies. Voice reviews unlock a faster, lighter path to advocacy. Champions can share their feedback in minutes with zero friction. More reviews, more volume, no extra lift. And maybe most importantly of all, more depth, more context, more clarity, so buyers make better decisions and your product gets to speak for itself. And that's conversational voice reviews. Back to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Alex. That is a great segue for another capability that is bringing more and more flexibility to review collection. But before we get into that, I'm seeing some questions in the chat about how to sign up for our early adopter programs. We actually have a link that is either going to be in the chat now or in the next few minutes. So hang tight. We have a lot of more innovations to get through, and you'll be able to sign up as you see fit. So continuing the theme of creating more ways to help your customer's voice be heard, new AI-assisted review collection via customer calls and meetings is going to take those call logs to the next level. So I'm going to let Rachel take us through what we're hearing from the market and then share how or what G2 is doing about it. Off to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Nicole. Hello, my name is Rachel Bentley. I am the Vice President of Product Management for Seller Solutions here at G2. I am so excited to introduce AI-assisted review collection today and give you some of our summer blockbuster previews. So you're busy and reviews are hard to get. So how can we make your life easier and get buyers what they need? Trusted content to make decisions. An important decision to choose your software. With AI-assisted review collection, we're turning everyday conversations like sales calls or customer success calls that they're having already into pre-filled G2 reviews that are ready to approve and publish. This means no more chasing customers down the street or an email saying, please give me feedback, give me feedback. Your G2 admin now can identify customers straight from the conversations that your teams are already having. The system pulls real subjective feedback from transcripts to pre-populate the review form, saving time while keeping that quality intact. We aim to maintain the authentic voice of the customer without the lift from you, or more importantly, them, the reviewer. So let's take a look. Imagine, close your eyes, but I can't see if anyone's closing their eyes, so I'm gonna open mine. Imagine that you and your team are on a call. And this could be a regular check-in or a quarterly or annual review that you're having. And your customer is sharing so much valuable feedback about your product, even mentioning how easy it is to use or how your team has been so supportive coming along with them and their goals. You leave that call being like, wow, that was a really great representation of feedback on our offering. So what is an AI-assisted review? Your customer intelligence software or web conferencing tool is already capturing transcripts of conversations you're having. So what we're doing is using that transcript to generate that pre-populated draft or review that's all ready to share with that reviewer or customer. Once that pre-filled review form hits your customer's inbox, they can visit the form to make sure that their feedback was captured exactly how they meant it to be. So maybe something was auto-corrected to say duck when they really meant to say muck. If they need to make changes, it's really easy to make and submit from there. So all together now, with AI-assisted reviews, the benefits are measurable. If we want to go to the next slide. With AI-assisted reviews, the benefits are really measurable and measurable to your key business outcomes. Buyers trust other buyers. When you enrich the authentic voice of the customer into your campaigns and in your sales motions, you're giving prospects and the entire market a preview and social proof that they need to move forward with confidence and to consider you. Reviews are the fastest way to conversion throughout your entire funnel. And truly, what's easier for the reviewer to give feedback than a pre-populated form of a conversation they're already having to support their goals? Win, win, win. With reviews derived from real conversations with your team, your product marketing and customer success teams gain access to unfiltered, natural language feedback with kind of a little more personality because it's from a call. And that means it has depth, not just check boxes or canned responses. This helps you uncover trends, refine messaging, and adapt your roadmap with more confidence and speed. And perhaps most importantly, you make it easier for customers to leave a review. With that friction removed, volume goes up, which means more visibility, more credibility, and more influence in category rankings and buyer perception. Nicole?
Thank you so much, Rachel. As one of the admins for our G2 profile, I know that our sales team has hundreds and thousands of calls coming through every month, and I'm so excited to pull those calls in and then use them for insights and G2 reviews. It's really like a product marketer or a customer marketer's goldmine of new insights. So super excited about that one. And speaking of insights, where else are reviews lurking that can be brought to light for sales and marketing teams, Rachel?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about collecting customer feedback. But once you've collected that great customer feedback, the next question is, how do you maximize its impact to influence buyers? How do you use that feedback to show that you're the one? You're the perfect software match and your offering will love them into their best work. Enter the queen of content, not my work nickname, but this is how you can automatically integrate your G2 reviews into leading customer advocacy platforms. So user evidence, Dido, and Base. These integrations turn G2 reviews into sales and marketing assets. This gives you credibility in the market. Pepper those social proof sprinkles all throughout the buyer journey. When credibility is needed most, G2 is there. Your best G2 content can automatically flow into sales decks, one-pagers, research libraries, nurture emails, and more, helping you reinforce trust and accelerate the confident decisions at every touch point. Trust everywhere. So the benefits, repurpose reviews and collateral. It's essentially recycling. We are repurposing reviews to help the purchasing environment. When reviews are embedded across your content, from search libraries to battle cards, they strengthen your positioning with credible real-world proof. We know you're busy. Let's make your life easier. Overcome content activation challenges. We keep it fresh. With recent reviews feeding your advocacy content automatically, you'll never scramble to find that perfect quote or up-to-date testimonial again. Reinforce your competitive advantage in the buyer journey. Keep your momentum strong without slowing down to find your social proof or source your social proof. I hope you've enjoyed learning all of the exciting ways we are bringing software reviews to life with AI first on different platforms and locations to have G2 and your social proof everywhere. I don't pick favorites, but if I did, Nicole would be number one. So I'm going to give it back to her for our next innovation.
You're so sweet, Rachel. Thank you. We talked a lot about reviews, which is such a fundamental part of G2. I like to call reviews the bread and butter of the platform. However, without reviews, we would have no buyers and vice versa. And so I'm super pumped to get into what we are doing to change the entire experience for software buyers on G2. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Tim Silber to take us through the next innovation that you can start using immediately. Tim, let's hear it.
All right. Hey, everyone. Tim Silber, manager of new products at G2, and I'm excited to talk about how we're democratizing the software buying experience with a totally new product. As a buyer, G2 has always been great if you have some idea of what you're looking for already, whether it's a specific category of software or a short list of products. But what if you're a buyer and you know you have a business problem, but you don't know exactly what you need, where to start your search, or if the solution that you're imagining even exists. And we're seeing buyers not sure where to start more and more often because of AI. The software landscape is changing faster than ever before. New problems, new solutions, new categories are popping up every week. And in response, buyers are turning to AI-driven research experiences to help them cut through that noise. From our recent buyer behavior report, we're seeing that 79% of buyers have fundamentally changed how they conduct research because of AI. And generative AI chatbots are the most common software research tool used today, even more than review websites like G2. But we thought, why not both? What if I could just tell a chatbot what my business problem is, then have it aggregate and bring information back to me? But what if I could also make sure that my search results are based on real feedback from over 3 million moderated G2 reviews, rather than whatever comes out of an LLM based on its training data? And so we're introducing G2.ai, the world's first AI-first software buying experience. As a buyer on G2.ai, you don't have to keep up with industry trends. You don't have to know anything about G2's software taxonomy. You just have to know what your problem is and, I guess, how to enter it into that search bar. And as a software seller, G2AI can be a better matchmaker between you and buyers so that vendors of all shapes and sizes can have their products shown to buyers who are the right fit for them. Now, I hate creating presentations from scratch, so I thought maybe G2AI could help me find some software to prepare for this webinar. And here are some screenshots from my actual conversation. So I asked G2AI for the best AI slide generation software, and it started looking through the thousands of categories and hundreds of thousands of products in our catalog. And although we don't have an AI slide generation software category on G2 yet, it was smart enough to localize me to the presentation software category and then ask me some follow-up questions based on other features in the category I might care about, like an integration with PowerPoint or a version control system. And an integration with Google Slides sounded great, and it came back with a short list of AI slide generation software tailored to my requirements. And all you marketers are on the call and you're probably like, how didn't you know that Canva has AI slide generation features? To which I'd say, I'm a product guy. I don't know all your tricks, but I guess that's part of my point. And then I asked for a comparison of the two softwares, which triggered this cool new feature we're calling Comparison Canvas. Unlike general AI chatbots, we built our entire chat experience around the software buyer and being able to collaborate with your team. And so from the moment I initiate this comparison, G2AI starts updating this document for me. So by the time I'm done, I have an artifact that contains exactly the information I care about that I can share directly with my team. And so I went back and forth with G2AI a couple more times, chose a tool, and then created the first full version of this presentation with a brand new AI tool. And then our brilliant marketing and creative teams came in and touched some things up. But this is just the beginning for G2AI. We have way too many ideas to share them all right now, but some of the more fun ones are proactively updating buyers with what's changed in the software landscape since they started their buying journey, or creating a collaborative space that you can simultaneously discover software and vote on requirements with your team, and even generating RFPs automatically. But more on that next time. In the meantime, we can't wait for you all to give this beta a try, and happy searching. Back to you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Tim. I can't believe the day is finally here, launching G2.ai, and I think it's fair to leave this slide up for a few more moments so you all can be sure to open it up in another tab and start exploring G2.ai for software buyers. And in the meantime, Tim, knowing that this is such a different experience from traditional G2.com, how do you expect G2.ai to change the way people are searching for software? And can you share any more details into what the early research is showing?
Yeah, of course. Buyers love it. The entire concept of products existing in these distinct software categories is becoming blurrier over time. And at the rate products are developing these days, we would create a new category, and then a few months later, it becomes a parent category for an entirely new subset of solutions. So it's a lot for us to keep up with, and it's especially a lot for our buyers. And G2AI lets us be way more responsive to those changes. It destructures a buyer's business problem, looks both horizontally across categories and then vertically within a category at different clusters of products within that category to make the best recommendation. And so as a buyer, I just have to know what problem I have. And it works in terms of early indicators. Aside from the really positive anecdotes we hear, from user testing, the conversion rate from a buyer starting with this chat first experience on G2 AI to taking a next step with a vendor, like filling out a lead form or visiting their website, is around 10 to 15 times greater than it is on G2.com. So pretty cool results.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm super excited to try this one out myself. And I know you mentioned creating slide decks and not being a marketer. So maybe I will use G2.ai to research some product performance analytics tools. This leads us back into another AI first innovation for strategists now. So moving right along, we talked buyers, we talked reviewers. Now let's talk strategists. I'm excited to bring Alex back onto the stage to talk more about the challenges researchers and strategists are facing today and what we're doing to solve those problems utilizing AI.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So earlier we spoke about voice reviews, but voice and the insight that it brings shouldn't just stop there. Many of our customers want to go beyond the review toward answers that are specific to their audience and to their market. But traditional research reports, they're slow, they're broad, they're expensive. We wanted to build something better, something that was tailored, providing insights that are granular, scalable, and on demand. Research that feels like it's built for you, not the other way around. And so with that, I'm excited to introduce AI-led custom research. AI-led custom research is powered by the voice technology you saw earlier. It speaks directly with your customers at scale to uncover the answers you care about the most. Hundreds of interviews handled, analyzed, and delivered, all by AI. You can use it to drive internal strategies across product, marketing, and go-to-market, or use it to educate the market and your future buyers with insights no one else has. And it doesn't stop there. This research isn't just powered by conversations, it's supercharged by G2's proprietary data. So you get layered, unmatched intelligence, the kind analysts and research firms just can't offer. So I'd love to show you how it works. We start by giving the agent a clear objective, a question you want answered, a market trend you want to explore, or a customer pain point you need to understand. Then the agent gets to work. It builds a dynamic AI-powered conversational flow that's designed to feel natural, human, and specific to your research needs. This is a complex web of questions that adapt to the interviewee as they're going through the conversation. Next, the agent does something really powerful. It starts speaking with real people. Your customers, your users, your market, all in their own words and on their own time. No more scheduling interviews, no more sitting down for focus groups. This is very personal, direct, and convenient. As those conversations are happening, the agent isn't just asking questions and listening. It's actually capturing every detail and then organizing and summarizing the feedback automatically. And finally, it takes it one step further. It synthesizes everything and delivers clear, structured insights, not just what people said, but what it means for your product, your messaging, and your strategy. In a previous life, I have spent months and hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to create these reports, doing research, doing interviews, running surveys. And in the end, you wind up getting insights that feel outdated by the time they get to you. So we wanted to do something better. With AI custom research, you can create highly curated custom marketing assets powered by real customer conversations and G2's proprietary data in days, not months. So that's faster insights, smarter decisions, and campaigns that speak in the customer's own voice and land with more clarity, more relevance, and more impact. I am beyond excited to say that we are live in beta today, and we cannot wait to see what research y'all want to bring to us. So with that, back to Nicole.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. Another exciting early access program that our customers on the call can sign up for today. So make sure to check out that link in the chat. And I'll say, you mentioning insights that are outdated before they even arrive, that one hit home for me as a product marketer. Finding real-time insights to make quick decisions is so integral for this role. And so I'm super excited to try out this new research for our own product marketing efforts here. So I'm assuming that you can make sure I'm signed up for the beta as well, Alex. I'll take silence as a yes. Preemptive close, I like to call it. So, like custom insights for strategists, we talked a lot about the new AI experiences that will reimagine reviewers and buyers experiences and change how they're engaging with you as companies. So, as a recap, we did start with conversational voice reviews, allowing customers to really share their feedback in their own voice. And then we talked about driving AI assisted review collection via customer calls and meetings. So if you have hundreds, thousands of calls in your backlog, we can use those transcripts to churn out really great insights, not only for yourself as maybe sales or marketing teams, but to power G2 and insights for buyers and strategists. Reviews in customer advocacy platforms is almost like a multiplier. So being able to surface those reviews in all different sales and marketing materials just levels up your content in ways we haven't seen before. And then for buyers with G2.ai, for new software buyers, we're delivering an entirely new experience for software. And the way people are using LLMs and for research has completely changed how we think about search today. And not only that, but buyers don't have to know everything about the vendors or categories to engage with. So like Tim mentioned today, he didn't know that Canva could have a Google Slides integration, or even that Canva was a possibility for him to power his work. And so being able to go into G2.ai and start with a goal or a pain point just helps inform buyers better than ever and then connect you back to them. Again, you can try G2.ai right now. I see some movement in the chat, so great work. And then lastly, AI-led custom research. So generating those high quality research outputs faster than ever before with conversational AI agent driven interview drivers. So you're probably thinking now, that's a lot and that's great, but what is next? We have all of the goodies here for you. I hope you're feeling super energized. I'm super excited that the day is finally here, that we can unveil all of these great programs to you. And these innovations really aren't just upgrades. They're really a mindset shift, really testing us to reduce friction, unlock insights, and reflect how software is actually being bought and sold today. And whether you're a current customer or just exploring what's possible with G2, we encourage you to lean in and try out some of our new capabilities today. So here's a couple items that you can use to power your growth. If you're already a customer, you can sign up for those beta programs and early access programs for voice, AI assisted collection via new meetings and calls, or our AI-led custom research paid beta now. But if you're here, anyone and everyone, again, can explore G2.ai, our new AI-powered software discovery experience. You can also try out voice reviews directly from G2.ai. So I'll pause and say that again. If you're already on G2.ai, you might have noticed that you can try out voice reviews directly from there. So try it out. And lastly, if you're not a customer, but you're still curious about these innovations or want to learn more, you can flag yourself in the chat or always use the link that's coming in the chat as well to connect with us. We went through a lot, so now I have time to open it up for some Q&A. So we'll transition to our Q&A portion and start lighting them up on the screen. So thank you everyone in advance who has already put in their questions in the chat. I am going to get this Q&A started. And if you have one now or one comes up, feel free to keep adding to that chat and we will share it on the screen. All right. First one, how is this AI search different from usual AI tools? Great question. I'm going to flag Tim to hop on.
Yeah, great question. We have a pretty robust set of additions to the usual AI tools. Let's assume ChatGPT, let's assume Gemini as kind of the standard AI tools that you might use for search. One, we have access to millions of data points from millions of G2 reviews that power this information. So we can cite the information we give back to discrete sources. We have also, similar to ChatGPT and Gemini, implemented concepts like web search. We do understand that G2 doesn't always have the answers. There's only so much information you can fit on a profile page. And so for detailed product questions, for example, we might run a web search, or I saw another question in the Q&A around, can we use data from Monty for sales? That is totally an option as well. So we really envision this being a space where we can work with you all to provide content to buyers directly, where you might not have that level of granularity or that level of input to other search tools like ChatGPT or Gemini. Plus, we've invested a lot in a multi-agent architecture to power this experience. So rather than one chatbot, there's really around 5 or 6 different chatbots kind of working behind the scenes to give you an answer.
Thanks, Tim. And just for the crowd, as we go one by one on the questions, keep them coming. I will continue to flag our product leaders here to lean in and share more deeper details into your questions. So thank you again for engaging with our Q&A. On to our next one here. Let's see, almost feels like a game in Vegas as we go through. So we have Nicole here, same name. How would Canva in this example determine how AI describes their product to the user? Does Canva decide that? So very similar to what you shared, Tim. Not sure if you can share any more info on when you're expecting to lean into those potential capabilities, but I do understand that right now this is a buyer-focused beta.
Yes, this is a buyer-focused tool, and so we will aggregate all the different information we have about Canva in order to generate that response. We'll look at certainly the set of features that Canva offers, the description, the G2 profile, but we're also going to look at review data, our pros and cons, the different levels of analyses that we do on individual products, and use that to pass to our AI to generate a response and describe the product to the user in the context of their needs and other products they're looking at.
Perfect. Thank you. And then more information on next steps to get started with trying AI-assisted reviews. Great question, Christy. Once you sign up through any of the early adopter programs on the link shared, you will get in touch with someone from our G2 team to coordinate what that process will look like. So first step, signing up, and then our team will be in contact with you, getting you up and running to start trying out those voice reviews, AI-assisted reviews with those calls and meetings, or even the AI-led custom research. Okay, next one, we have Sierra in a reply. Okay, perfect, to Alex.
I will hop in here. Thank you, Sierra.
Thank you.
Yes, so we use a few different methods for validation. Rachel actually posted our guidelines on the review validation process, but maybe we can have that posted again into the chat, because she posted that directly to someone else's question. But what is meant by that is we have a few different verified sources. So if things are coming from an app, for instance, or if they are coming from vendors themselves, providing us guarantees that those are actually customers from their end, things like that, that provide us ways of validating that that is a verified source. There were a couple questions around how we will be doing verification for the voice reviews. So a lot of that will be following the standard processes for moderation and validation that were just posted. So if there are other questions, feel free to follow up there.
And while you're here, Alex, there was another question that came in around what languages we are supporting for these voice capabilities.
Yes, it's a great question. So for the beta, we're focusing right now on English. But when we go to GA, the plan will be to launch with at least 30 common languages. And so we're very, very excited about that and just being able to also expand the review collection globally with that.
Thank you. And then still talking about voice reviews here, another question around being linked to specific campaigns with gift cards. So looks like Abby is a current customer, so thank you for this question. Typically sending your personal gifts to customers who leave reviews and track them ourselves. This is something that will be explored during the early access program. So we are mirroring the outreach to the current review campaign process that we all know and love here at G2. And so once we get started, or once you get started with the beta program, the team is definitely looking at other ways to bring these voice reviews into other channels of collecting feedback. All right, moving on. We have a question from Jen Anderson. Does G2 have any future plans for combating review farming? I think that one is back to you, Alex.
I could also help with
Thanks,
this
Rach.
because the link that I shared in the chat about our review validation process, that's the best-in-class review validation to ensure that we have many levels of protection and diligence. We have real people as well as systems verifying that these are real users. Additionally, we have offerings like vendor validated reviews. So this is a program that we come together to basically compare lists. Those lists can be obfuscated to say, does this person use your software? Vendor A? Great. They left a review. We can validate that automatically. It also expedites the moderation process. So that is a program that is not in beta, that's fully launched, that you are able to take advantage of, that I can share a link for. So we have to answer the question, we have a multifaceted approach to combat review farming, including we verify via LinkedIn. We're always LinkedIn verified. We're always finding new methods to ensure that the content on G2 is the most trusted in the industry.
Thank you, Rachel. And then another question from the chat while we have you here. Even genuine customer reviews have been rejected in the past. How is it going to be different to evaluate reviews with voice or text when it comes to moderation? Can you share any more details?
So we have, with all of these additional layers, we have added that if we can verify the person and their usage, they can be using AI assistance, just like we all use autocorrect every day to improve their reviews. That being said, how can customers ensure that their customer reviews that are valid are accepted? It is that vendor validated review collection to ensure that for some reason a review is flagged, having you verify that someone is real through our program will ensure that you get those reviews through. It just also helps expedite. We will not be retroactively going back for those reviews. This is a move forward with net new functionality that we have released this year. I just answered 2 questions because Maureen also added one.
Thank you. All right, our next question here, we have a couple votes on it, is will these AI features be packaged as add-ons? So currently, in order to use the seller AI features, that is the voice reviews, conversational voice reviews, are AI-assisted reviews through calls and meetings, or the paid beta for our AI-led custom research. All of those can be unlocked if you are a current customer of G2 with a review plan. In the future, we are looking at what makes sense, if we are making them as add-ons or if they will be put into our classic packaging. But for now, if you are a customer, you are able to sign up for these early adopter programs and start trying. Okay. Moving on, we'll move on to what are the first sentiments from customers regarding being recorded for this purpose in sales calls that is not focused on them? I believe, just to clarify this question for Rachel, V is talking about what are the first sentiments from our customers, so our reviewers, regarding being recorded for this purpose in sales calls that is not focused on them.
So since about 2020, people have been a lot more comfortable with being recorded on calls. It used to be a little bit of resistance, and now it's just every day. It's quite pedestrian. People don't really blink twice. There might be some industries that have different challenges, just like with review collection, that we are addressing during the alpha. But my experience is that mostly the user that they're talking to is comfortable with being recorded.
Thanks, Rachel. And while I have you up on the screen, maybe you can answer this question as well for Cassandra on G2 integrating with call software like Gong to simplify even further.
Yes. So Gong is one of the early participants in our AI assisted review collection, but this will be platform agnostic. So we will be able to integrate with any platform. But if you pop in the chat, or as an early adopter, if you are using a different program than our first few offerings for AI assisted reviews, we could add that in to ensure it scales more quickly to be platform agnostic to what you use and utilize today.
Thank you. And then one question for Alex here. Is there an option for marketing teams to download these voice reviews from G2 and then use them, I'm sure, in sales and marketing efforts?
It's a great question. Thank you. So right now during the beta, the focus is really on leveraging this technology to create more reviews for you. But yes, we are keeping the recordings and they can be used for content purposes in the future. But more on that at a later date, as that is an offering we will definitely be presenting to you all soon.
Awesome. And then while I still have you, a follow-up question on voice reviews. Can you customize the questions?
Also a great question. Saw that a few times in the Q&A. So currently, the questions don't necessarily follow a standard script, but rather a more standardized flow. And so what that means is that the exact questions that get asked differ reviewer to reviewer. There's also slight differences between categories, topics, product versus service, all that kind of stuff. There's slight differences between them to make sure that it's organic and natural. And the questions also adapt to the reviewer. So if someone is being hesitant, not providing a lot of depth, the AI will probe them more for further detail. If they're providing detail that goes off course, then it will try and redirect them into the flow that is needed. So there's a few nuances there that kind of quote unquote customize the question within every conversation. But for the beta, we will still be keeping to mostly those standard flows. Post GA, we would like to move into a space where we can then also take more custom questions, similar to how we offer custom questions into our forms today, and be able to adapt the conversational flow with those custom questions as well.
Thank you, Alex. And then one more question before we wrap it up today, before the top of the hour. We have a question here regarding services. So wanted to shed light on this question around service providers for you, Alex. How is it going to work for B2B service providers? Are the questions going to be the same, i.e., would you buy it again for B2C?
Yes, it's a great question. So the conversations are different. So we have customized them to be more appropriate based on if it's a service provider versus a software vendor, for instance. Just in that very example, would you buy it again? It's more of, would you work with this provider again? What was their methodology? What was it like working with the specific stakeholders of that provider? Things like that. So they are more custom to that experience. But as part of this, if there are, please, early access people, go in. If there are questions that you think would be more appropriate, that's why we would love to get feedback. And then just want to quickly address a conversational point that was mentioned in terms of standard length to a lot of these conversations. So we're seeing that a lot of them wind up completing in around 4 to 5 minutes, whereas a standard review will take like 12 to 15 minutes to fill out about the same amount of questions in format. But there's really no max. So if someone is feeling very chatty and wants to give you a lot of feedback through the conversation, they're more than welcome to do so, and the AI can definitely handle that. But we're just seeing in terms of average completion time with longer response volume, but in a shorter time of around 4 to 5 minutes.
Great. Thank you for that additional level of clarity. And before we wrap it up for the day, I just wanted to share a quick save the date into our next G2 University mini webinar series that is coming up. I think it's sharing the wrong screen, but we'll add it into the chat right now for you all to see. There we go. Thank you so much. Webinar gods. We have G2 University coming up, which is a mini tactical approach to what you saw today. And so this will be a follow-up session to dive even deeper into the steps for enabling and leveraging some of these capabilities. So we will still focus heavily on the pain points that we are solving for reviewers, buyers, and strategists. The link is in the chat. Please register. We're excited to continue this conversation in the age of AI as we unveiled all of these new innovations today. We can't wait to see you all using G2.ai after this call, and we hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Thank you so much again for joining us. Have a great day.